Well, Saudi Arabia's energy minister has defended OPEC Plus's contentious decision to cut oil production and criticized major importers for trying to tame prices by selling down their inventories. Simone Foxman has more from Doha for us now. And so, Simone, what's behind his criticism?
Yeah, he really criticized these drawdown of these energy stocks for essentially manipulating the oil markets. He warned that losing emergency stocks may be painful in the markets in the months to come, and that really because there's so much uncertainty about what will happen, the future of the economy, and whether there are continuing shocks that may play out in the market. You know, what struck me here is Abdulaziz bin Salman and Saudi Arabia in general have really emphasized the market volatility rationale that's driving the OPEC Plus decision that they made to cut production just weeks ago. And I don't necessarily think that that resonates with a broader public, because there's also this message that Saudi Arabia needs $80 a barrel oil in order to balance its budget, and this is the moment when it can truly sell its oil at high prices. I think that argument is a little bit more compelling, but ABS really sticking to the script yesterday, and certainly in this very emotionally heightened climate between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, he certainly didn't soften that when he said that Saudi, with its decision, decided to be the maturer guys, essentially in mitigating some of this uncertainty risk in the oil market.
And we had the likes of JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, you had the Saudi Arabia's investment minister Khalid Al-Falil saying that the U.S. and Saudis, they're going to work out this spat. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, their message really that U.S.-Saudi relations go back a very long time. They have deep ties and interests in preserving Middle East security and preserving energy security across the world. So ultimately, those ties will win out. But you know, some of the reporting we've seen in the last couple of days indicating that the U.S. feels really betrayed by this decision, in part because they believe they had a deal with the Saudis, that in fact the Saudis would continue ramping up production rather than cutting it, and that the Saudis, had essentially flown in the face of the ultimate agreement that underlied the Biden visit back in July. I think that really ramps up the pressure. You know, from the Saudi side, it's really unclear how much this was an emotionally driven decision versus how much was a tactically driven decision. But whatever the case is here, the U.S., the Biden administration has threatened that there will be consequences, whether that's a freeze in terms of arms sales, whether that's, some NOPEC decision, NOPEC legislation that would shake up the existence of the OPEC cartel. That's really unclear. But what does seem clear from talking to analysts who really follow this and people in government, is that frankly, the worst is probably ahead. We're still going to see this situation ramp up before it gets better.
And sticking with energy, Simone, Kuwait is close to its first exports of diesel. How much of an impact does that have, especially when you are seeing a lot of these European suppliers struggle to prepare for a ban from Russia?
Yeah, the Al Zour refinery in Kuwait, this has been under construction, and one of its three parts is, we understand, according to Bloomberg sources, likely to begin exporting diesel in just the next couple of weeks, and then all of the refinery, some 615,000 of crude processing capacity in terms of barrels per day, is likely to come online by January. This is probably good news to the European market. We have these sanctions, this essentially cutoff in supply from Russia, and in terms of both crude and refined products looming over Europe. We have these French refinery strikes. And so in what some analysts are calling an extremely tight diesel market, this could mitigate some of that tightness that we're feeling.